What if your company operated like a championship team? Imagine if every department functioned like a unit on the field, trained, coordinated, and driven by shared goals. Athletes don't stay in the game for decades by accident. They last because they train, recover, and rely on their team. Well, the same is true for great companies. Today we're talking about the ageless advantage, what sports teams can teach corporate teams about longevity, performance, and culture. Today on the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast.
Welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast
with Garrett Williamson.
Health, wellness, exercise, nutrition, and a whole lot more. Got questions? Call us and leave a message at 251-278-EDGE or message us at Personal Edge Fitness on Facebook and Instagram, at Team PE on Twitter, or personaledgefitness.com.
Good day and welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Garrett Williamson, president of Personal Edge Fitness. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now, if you're enjoying this podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, you can always reach out to us at 251-278-3343 or online at personaledgefitness.com. My email address is Garrett, Garrett, at personaledgefitness.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram, both Personal Edge Fitness. Hit me up on X at Team PE if you're so inclined. Now let's talk about why the lessons that keep athletes competing for decades are the same ones that keep businesses thriving for generations. I've worked with athletes and executives for years, 35 years in this business now, and one truth always stands out. Performance is culture. When you walk into a winning locker room, you can feel it. The energy, the discipline, the mutual respect of the players and the coaches. It's contagious. But walk into a high-performing company, and believe it or not, it feels the same. And this is backed up by research. A 2022 Harvard Business Review analysis found that organizations with cohesive cultures and shared wellness values outperform competitors by 33% in profitability and 22% in productivity. Now, if you have a company, wouldn't you like to be 33% ahead of your competition in profitability and 22% ahead in productivity? Well, it's the same concept that drives elite teams: clarity, accountability, and care for one another's well-being. Because let's face it, nobody wins championships with burnout, isolation, or poor conditioning. And no company thrives with those same issues. Athletes don't just show up on game day and expect to perform. They practice daily, refining fundamentals, conditioning, and recovery. The same principles applies to corporate longevity. A 2023 Stanford Graduate School of Business study found that companies that integrate wellness programs and consistent performance reviews, not just annual ones, had 40% higher long-term retention and more sustainable productivity. Think about that. Consistency beats intensity. We see that all the time. It's not the once-a-year health fair or the big January challenge that builds results. It's the daily rhythm of wellness. Athletes train to stay ready, not get ready. Companies should do the same. That's why our corporate edge wellness challenges are built on frequency and momentum. Consistent, inclusive challenges that keep the team sharp year-round. Another part of it, of course, that every athlete knows: what you eat affects how you perform. But in the workplace, we often ignore that. We run on caffeine, processed snacks, and skipped meals, then wonder why focus and creativity drop in the afternoon. The WHO, World Health Organization, reports that nutrition-related fatigue causes a 20% decrease in workplace productivity globally. Your nutrition affects your performance. Top-performing teams, both on the field and in the office, treat fuel as strategy. Number 1, hydration. 2, balanced meals. And even scheduled breaks for real food can change the trajectory of a workday. When companies teach employees to eat for energy rather than survival, they tap into the same advantage athletes have always known. Consistency starts with fueling right. And one of the greatest misconceptions about elite athletes is that they train nonstop. They don't. This is a massive misnomer that we're working hard to prove the truth about this. That overworking is not the goal. Working hard and then recovering with purpose. It is a part of your training. Sleep, rest, mobility work, those aren't luxuries. They're actual steps in the training plan. Now, in the corporate world, we often glorify exhaustion, celebrate that overworking. We reward people for late nights and weekend emails, even though studies show chronic fatigue destroys performance. A 2021 McKinsey & Company report found that leaders who modeled health recovery habits, taking real breaks, prioritizing sleep, and setting boundaries had teams that performed 25% higher and reported far less burnout. Athletes know they can't compete if they don't recover. Companies should adopt the same mindset. Rest isn't retreat, it's reinforcement. Okay, listen, a quick reminder. If you're enjoying this conversation, please like, follow, and share this podcast. And if your company wants to build a culture that performs like a high-performance team and lasts like a legacy, give us a call at area code 251-278-3343. Visit us at personaledgefitness.com. Reach out to me personally, Garrett at personaledgefitness.com. Now, ask any athlete, what separates champions from contenders? And they'll tell you, not just because they talk to me, but they'll tell you it's mindset. Listen to the pregame locker room conversations. The vast majority of the time, the coach is talking about mindset. Winners play to win. They don't play to avoid mistakes. In business, the same pattern appears. When a company starts focusing only on risk avoidance, cutting cost, minimizing effort, doing just enough, growth stops. In contrast, growth-minded organizations, like growth-minded athletes, chase mastery. Carol Dweck's research at Stanford shows that individuals with a growth mindset are 47% more likely to achieve goals and 34% less likely to experience burnout. We see this daily in our corporate clients. When employees believe they can improve, when they're encouraged to make progress rather than perfection, consistency, not intensity, they stay engaged far longer, they feel healthier, and perform better. That's why our corporate programs emphasize inclusivity over intensity. Everyone can improve from where they are, just like athletes train at their own level within the same team. And that's what we look for. I did a podcast on this talking about those small wins. It's a lot better to set up those small, short-term wins and build that mindset of winning consistently. You're going to be far more successful. Every successful athlete has a coach. Even the greats, Tom Brady, Serena Williams, LeBron James, all had someone guiding them, refining and holding them accountable. Yet in business, most people are left to figure it out. I want them to work completely autonomous. Well, the Gallup State of the Workforce 2023 report found that employees who receive regular coaching, even informal check-ins, are 3 times more likely to be engaged and 5 times more likely to report overall well-being. And of course, you know how that affects tenure. Coaching is the secret to sustained progress. It creates accountability, enhances community, and also enhances belief, the same way it does in sports. That's why our approach to corporate wellness includes more than programs. It includes coaching systems, trainers, team leaders, and wellness ambassadors who keep the energy alive. Because no one wins championships alone. Now, how can I leave any podcast without talking about the live age? In the live age, I talk about how ability doesn't decline because of time. It declines because of neglect. Well, the same goes for companies. You don't lose your edge because you've been around too long. You lose it when you stop training, stop learning, and stop evolving. Athletes who last. Now, I've done podcasts on this, and starting off with one of my favorites. Think of George Blanda, Roger Federer, or even 59-year-old Mike Flint. I hope you caught that podcast. I hope you've seen that movie. They adapt. They train smarter, not just harder. Companies that last do the same. They adapt culture, upgrade their training systems, and prioritize wellness and mindset. it comes to longevity in the body or the boardroom, it's never luck. It's always the result of intentional, consistent work. Here's a simple playbook for building longevity in your team culture. First, train daily. Build small. I can't emphasize that enough. Small wellness moments into every day, not just quarterly initiatives. Number 2, fuel smart. Make nutrition part of performance, not an afterthought. Number 3, recover hard. Model healthy work-life balance from leadership down. Number 4, coach up. Empower mentors and team leads to champion wellness. Number 5, always play to win. Set goals that inspire growth, not fear failure. That's how you build a company that lasts. Strong, healthy, and unified. So here's your challenge. Take a look at your team, your company, your family, your organization. Are you operating like a group of individuals or like a true team? When you train, fuel, recover, and believe together, you build longevity together. Creating your team's ageless advantage. That's just one more way. Personal Edge Fitness helps you reach your level of wellness. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast with Garrett Williamson. Subscribe now and be a part of the show by calling 251-278-EDGE or message us on Facebook and Instagram at Personal Edge Fitness or at Team PE on Twitter, and visit us at personaledgefitness.com.
Who's developing our future community leaders? Who's developing our future workforce? Who's fostering a love of our great nation in today's youth? Liberty Learning Foundation is doing it. Liberty Learning Foundation empowers K through 12 educators to teach civics, character, financial literacy, career readiness, and our great American story, producing outstanding young citizens who are truly life, career, and citizen ready. Test scores go up and behavioral issues go down. Help ensure the Liberty Learning Foundation program is in your kid's school. Please make your charitable donation now at libertylearning.org.